Hey friends, Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. If you've ever wondered what 112 degrees looks like out in Phoenix, Arizona, well, this is it. And not really a bad day at all to be test driving the Kia Sorento for 2016. Not only is it all new, but the one I'm testing here today has those very groovy ventilated seats. So I'm really anxious to get started. For 2016, the Kia Sorento takes a deft move up market with a higher base price by about $600 and a much higher top-out price for a fully trimmed-out SX Limited, such as our 2.0T all-wheel drive tester here, which stickers at about $45,000. Styling's evolutionary of the Kia brand, so you know what it is at first sight. Exterior trims have a more refined sense of being, while lines are more flowing and less blocky than before, and it looks a bit larger because it is, growing about 3 inches in wheelbase and overall length. Up front, a new grille design is elegant and expensive looking, as are the LED fog lamps, which are standard on our SX Limited. Optioned are the xenon headlamps that were part of the technology package, which also brings driver assistance aids and a 360-degree surround view monitor. At the rear, some very vivid LED taillights, and bucking the trend is a single exhaust tip which is framed nicely with a metallic finish lower valance. 19-inch satin finish alloy wheels filled the wheel openings well with a relatively tall 55 series sidewall. Inside, our Sorento had the rather unique Merlot Napa perforated leather seats contrasted with piano black and satin aluminum finish trims. The seats, as said, were ventilated up front and heated in both rows. Both driver and passenger get power seats here too, and the driver gets memory settings. A panoramic sunroof opened up the cabin well to light the front section, opening up for fresh air. An opaque power shade can close the light and heat out on days like this, however. A leather-wrapped steering wheel features and controls for various infotainment and instrument cluster functions. The rest of the controls, well laid out across the dash and center stack, all had a quality feel and were easy to find. The center stack itself has a wide and horizontal look, featuring a near-perfect balance of hard buttons and controls along with a touchscreen infotainment system. The top-line Yubo audio and navigation system remains one of the leading examples of intuitive ease of use and touch-responsive behavior. Sound from the audio system is exquisite, and it of course offers all forms of connectivity from Bluetooth wireless to USB and auxiliary ports. The USB ports hidden away in the center console even offer high-speed charging. Rear seat passengers will enjoy generous head and leg room and the ability to adjust the rear seat back recline angle. HVAC vents and a fold-down armrest are provided, and of course they fold down flat in a 60-40 split when expanded cargo space is needed. I really think the starring attraction for the Kia Sorento is this cabin. I have to be honest with you, I'm very impressed. The level of design, the fit and finish, and the quality of the materials here is really a class above many of its competitors. And I'm talking about, you could really compare this interior to something you find in a Lexus, an Acura, maybe even some of the German brands, and I'm being frank about that. And it's really just about the overall feel, the aura of it, and it just has what people normally spend a lot more money for. Sit in one yourself, you'll see what I mean. There are a few curiosities though, and that I mean feature content and what you can get with certain trim grades. For instance, if you like these Merlot leather seats, which I kind of do, you can only get them in the Limited with the 2.0T engine. If you want the V6, you can't get this color. Also, the third row seat, it's available with V6s and the base 4-cylinder, but not the 2.0T engine. I suspect maybe there's an engineering issue there. The thing is, if you like this vehicle and you're thinking of buying one, but you're really specific on colors and trims and things like that, you really need to get on their website and build one in the configurator and see what's available in different trim grades. And I think for a lot of folks, the trim grade they pick might be less about price, but what colors and trims are available in it than anything. The cargo area with the seats folded is larger for 2016, now affording just over 73 cubic feet of volume accessed with our power opening liftgate. As our tester didn't come with the available third row seat, we found additional storage spots under the rear load floor to hide smaller things away. The spare tire is mounted underneath. Under the hood of our Sorento is the mid-level 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, which offers up 240 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque on regular unleaded fuel. It comes standard with a 6-speed automatic transmission.
Now, I've driven this engine in a number of Kia products as well as some Hyundai products, the parent brand, and every time I'm always pretty impressed with it because it's very refined for being a small engine with a turbocharger, and it delivers its power with very little turbo lag. And best of all, when you ask for a downshift, this transmission delivers it up like snapwork. Maybe I meant clockwork. Either way, it just works very well. If there's any negative here, it's the fact that if you do use this power quite often, turbocharged engine, it does tend to use the gas.
The EPA rates this powertrain combination at 19 mpg city, 25 mpg highway, and 22 mpg combined. In our week with the Sorento, we observed 21 mpg combined, one less than promised, but with high temperatures, the AC was on at all times. While very similar to last year's model and specification, the 2016 Sorento has a considerably new chassis platform, some 14% stiffer than the last generation, and uses increased amounts of high-strength steels.
When it comes to ride and handling, one word, supple. And that doesn't mean soft, but Kia has really worked hard in the last few years on really refining their chassis such that the driving experience is almost becoming trademarked to Kia brand. And what I mean by that is when you drive a BMW, you drive a Mercedes-Benz, they always have a feel that every time you come back to that car, it's familiar, it's unique to their brand, and well, it's what people buy those cars for. And dare I say it, I think Kia has arrived at the point, at least with the way their vehicles drive, that they're sort of defining their own set of benchmarks. And well, what that means here is it's a very refined ride. It's quiet. This is one of the quietest crossover SUVs I've tested this year out here on this same road that I test them all on. It's a noisy pavement. It's just a very quiet ride, but that doesn't mean you're giving up handling to have this quiet, supple ride. No, the tuning is such that when you go into a corner, it offers up good response and it just feels of quality. That, I think, that's the takeaway here.
New laser welding and bonding techniques, along with a retuned, fully independent suspension mounted to more robust rubber-isolated subframes, are major contributors to its quieter and more stable ride, whether on the pavement or off.
Now, if you've ever watched any of my other reviews, one thing you know I love to do with a crossover SUV is bring it out here on the desert washboard road. And the reason is because even though this isn't true off-roading, it's a great test of the chassis, how solid it is, how well isolated the suspension is, how well bolted together the thing is, because this road can vibrate and shake even the best of the SUVs out there right down to their bolts, make them feel like a complete pile. And what I'm finding out here so far, this is extremely well sorted, just like on the highway. This rib vibrating surface isn't coming through here in any major way, shape, or form. You'll note it's actually pretty quiet in here. I'm not having to raise my voice that much to actually speak. And, well, the handling still remains to be pretty solid. That was a cattle guard. So, even though I'm sort of rolling along here at a pretty good pace, this still feels like it's giving me a sensation of being in control, which is always a good thing on a gravel road.
The Sorento's all-wheel drive system, while not as tightly wound as something found in, say, a Jeep Wrangler, does offer a full center locking function when needed, which sends power evenly to the front and rear axles. It also features torque vectoring from side to side via the traction control system.
Now, even though this isn't a true off-road vehicle, this does have the ground clearance and a pretty credible all-wheel drive system that can give you enough extra traction and articulation with the suspension out here to go a little bit further than, well, the beaten path. I mean, that's what you buy a vehicle like this for, isn't it? You want to be able to go camping and exploring a little bit, get out into nature. And to be honest with you, I'd really rather see it from here on a day like this. It's now up to 114 degrees and, well, these air-conditioned seats in this nice, comfortable cabin, much nicer than sitting on the back of a horse about right now.
On the trail or on the pavement, the 2016 Kia Sorento delivers a top safety pick rating from the IIHS, scoring good ratings in their full battery of crash tests, including the brutal small offset test. It lacks the higher top safety pick plus rating only because its available crash prevention system has basic features.
Summing it up for the 2016 Kia Sorento, I gotta tell you, I was very much impressed. This vehicle, in my opinion, almost reaches into the luxury brands in terms of overall quality, appeal, and, well, just the entire experience here. And I liked it so much. In fact, it goes on our I'd buy it list for 2015. I liked it that much. Now, as we look at the specs here, that price is a bit on the high side, and well, it does reach into the luxury end, doesn't it? This is one model down from all the way, which would be the V6 Limited. Here we've got the turbo, and that fuel economy, as you can see, not exactly what the window sticker promised, but I'm not faulting it. It's only one off, and well, when it's over 100 degrees all week long and we've got the air conditioner on, I tend to give these vehicles just a little bit of leeway on that point. Now, as we look at the stars, all the areas where I do compare it to its competition, faultless here, I thought. It really does reach up into the higher end of the segment competitively. I just really think they've done a nice job here. It definitely feels every bit worth the money they're asking for it. Therefore, it gets 5 stars for the week. I'm Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. I hope you enjoyed the ride. Well, folks, if you liked the review you just saw here today, click on the link right there and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We test drive 1 to 2 cars a week, and we put up a new video almost every single day. Sometimes it's crazy off-road just like this. Other times, we're just trying to see if the cars that are being sold out there are worth a look by you. So, stay tuned. Whew. Ugh. Blah.